This looks like a job for Superman.
Hey guys, Rez the Collector here with my second review of the day. We're going to be taking a look at the Superman line from 2003 or 2004 Doomsday figure. I have never handled this figure loose. I do have another one that's in package. And actually at the end of this video, I'm going to pull all 10 figures loose and in package and put them out for you guys to see. But for now, let's go ahead and do the unboxing. I never do unboxings on videos because I don't have the patience to wait until I'm going to do a review to open my figures. I just rip them open right away and I'm like, yay, figure! But this one I did save so that I could actually do it on film. So here we go, unboxing. It's almost like committing a cardinal sin here. Originally, when I first started collecting, I was completely just a mint and package collector. I didn't open anything. I mean, I bought some stuff loose, but I didn't actually open any of my figures. Alright, this has a bunch of twist ties on it, so you know what? I'm going to pause this and get him out of package the rest of the way. Be right back. Alright guys, I'm back, and I got him out of the package. Oops, sorry. And I gotta say, I am impressed. I mean, all the figures in this line were extremely high quality. But he takes the cake. I mean, he is just flat out amazing. The sculptor did such a fantastic job of capturing the monster. And I mean, that's what he was. Doomsday was he was the monster. He was the killer. He was the guy who brought down Superman. Let me start from the head down. He's got these very cool looking dreadlock things. The bone structure there in the forehead down to the nose, the mouth. I mean, look at that. The structures coming out over the eyes, and you can see that those are. Actually, there is spaces in between those. So, I mean, those are individually sculpted and put into place. The beard, basically, his bone beard, I mean, that is awesome. It's sharp. I mean, this guy has already stabbed me like 3 times. The big shoulder pauldrons, basically. I mean, I don't even know what is it? Is it a back tumor? I mean, look at the amazing sculpting on this. This whole back piece is just awesome. I mean, look at that. It looks like bone. It really does. It has that off-white texture and color, and it has an off-white color, not a texture. But then the texture feels like, you know, it does. It feels like a hard bone type thing. And look at the shoulders. Look at the protrusions on the shoulders and how much detail went into this. Down the spine. The forearms, the bones coming out of the forearms, the bones coming out of the hands, the chest piece here. Like I said, this entire set was an extremely high quality set. In my opinion, it is one of the best sets out there for anything that's going to be Superman related. Because it has pretty much every character. The only regret I have in this set is the Supergirl is the animated costume and not the Matrix Supergirl, which we had at this time. But that is a small thing. He is just, yeah, he's the final piece I was picking up for my loose collection. Actually, he was one of the final pieces I picked up for my in-package collection as well. The only thing I can say that really looks generic on him is the belt portion. It's very generic, but the rest of this is just amazing. He does have a somewhat loose knee here, and thankfully he has no ankle rockers whatsoever, so that's a big bonus, because he's a hefty guy. He definitely with an ankle rocker, he would have a hard time getting this gentleman to stand. I'm going to try and pan down a little bit, so forgive me for this being shaky. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. I want to get just a good look at him. And we're going to go into articulation. Very limited articulation, but I don't mind that because the articulation is limited because of the amount of detail that was put into him. Most of the figures in this set do have a bicep swivel. He does not. He does have ball joint shoulders, but again, those are limited due to the big spikes coming out here at the end. You can see that that's going to block that from coming out too far, and it blocks it from coming up too far or out at all. It's rubbing against that top piece, and I'm completely fine with that. As long as I can get him up into this where he looks like he's punching, then I'm completely happy with the figure. So ball jointed shoulders. He does have some left and right head movement, no up or down. There's no waist articulation at all, no swivel, and obviously no crunch. He does have back and forth, good range of motion on his legs. He does, of course, have that knee there, and that is just, God, look at that bone there. That is just awesome. And, of course, he has no ankle articulation, thankfully. Most of the figures in this line did have ankle articulation, and most of them suffer from ankleitis. I really don't know how much more I can say about this guy. Without you having him in hand, it's kind of hard to even get across just how fantastic he is. The little details, the little protrusions on the back, and how much detailing went into that back piece. The shoulder pieces as well. These here, but the pieces actually on the shoulders, there's so much little intricate work here. I can understand why the belt went kind of generic with as much work as they put into the rest of this figure. The muscle structure in the chest, look at that muscle structure there. You can see each individual muscles in the pecs just kind of stretching and pulling. You don't see, and I really like this on this figure, you don't see veins, except for right there. But anybody who knows the Doomsday storyline, it was actually, spoiler alert, just in case you have been under a rock for the last 21 years. Spoiler alert, Doomsday, while not a Kryptonian, evolved on Krypton. And I know that sounds weird, but basically he was brought to Krypton by another alien scientist, and he was a humanoid baby that apparently Krypton had a race of just vicious creatures, and they had bone-like protrusions. And every day they sent this baby out basically to get killed by these creatures. And then they would go scrape the DNA and they'd clone a new baby. And this, of course, falls into, I don't know if that's really been changed with the New 52, but that falls into the story at the time where one of the things on Krypton was there was a lot of cloning going on. And that was attributed to part of the downfall of the Kryptonian people was the cloning. And you definitely saw that, not necessarily cloning, but genetic manipulation in the Man of Steel movie. So every day they went and they released this little infant out. It was viciously killed, and they'd scrape the DNA. And over 30 years, they had pushed this humanoid, basically human-looking baby, to the point where evolution had taken it to this huge, monstrous thing. There was almost no internal organs. He was almost fully solid all the way through. There's a point in the Hunter-Prey books where Doomsday returns, and Superman, who's alive again at that point, decides to go after him. And Mother Box, a Mother Box is a living computer from New Genesis or Apocalypse, to give you a little backstory on that, basically redesigns Superman's suit, and that's I think the figure was called the Kal-El suit. But there's a Hunter-Prey 2 set out there with a Doomsday and Superman as well. And gave him weapons. It gave him like a lightsaber type weapon. It gave him a sonic weapon. Because the thing with Doomsday was he had gotten to the point in evolution where if you did manage to kill him, he could never be killed in that way again. he would evolve beyond you. So when he was originally sent to Earth, he was sent by, I think it started with a C, I don't remember the name of the planet. He was sent by this race of people who, their royal family, through inbreeding, had developed powers, and all the royal family basically gave up their lives to create this energy being. And this energy being actually brought down Doomsday. And when Doomsday was found again, he actually ended up on Apocalypse. The crater that the cyborg Superman had thrown out into space had been found, and then it ended up going to Apocalypse. And Darkseid and Desaad, I think more Desaad, knowing the history of the creature, the Ender of Worlds, the Destroyer, sent him back to this planet where he had been killed before. But, of course, he had evolved beyond that energy being now, because the current royal family again became the energy being, and basically Doomsday just ripped him in half. So when Superman went after him, and he went after him with Wave Rider, of all heroes, he went with Wave Rider, and Superman goes after him. So Mother Box takes this suit. Originally it was the Kryptonian life suit that Matrix Supergirl had reconstituted into the standard Superman costume, and then Mother Box again reconstituted into the new costume with the weaponry. And I guess where I'm getting from this long-ass explanation is there's a scene where he takes his like energy sword, his not a lightsaber, and chops into Doomsday, into his side, and it goes all the way into like here, and it's just solid gray, and he pulls the weapon back, and it just closes together, and it's just, the wound is just immediately gone. So I mean, that's where I'm getting at. Doomsday was almost completely solid. There was very little fluid in him. He had evolved to the point where he was just this dense thing, this killer of worlds. And I guess the point of all of this, sorry for rambling, but you know, a little history lesson there in DC history is I mean, he was a monster. He was bred to destroy. And that is really, I mean, you could really see it here. They did an amazing job. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause one more time, and I'm going to pull all 10 in package and all 10 loose figures, and we're going to get a quick look at all of those guys together. So I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm going to finish this video freehand and just get a quick look at all of these figures, both loose and in package. And I'm going to talk about a couple pieces that I am missing for the set. Now, I do want to say, when I started collecting, my goal was this set of figures. I've wanted this set since they came out. I remember I had an email set up way back when I had dial-up and AOL that would go off every day telling me to buy these figures, but of course I didn't have the money at the time. So when I really started collecting, these were my goal. Having these figures was really what I was going for, and pretty much everything was secondary to these guys, because to me these were the iconic image of each one of these characters, except for Supergirl. So let's start with the one we just got done looking at. This is Doomsday. You can of course see that I do have his proper base, and we have him there in package. Next we have Brainiac 13. Brainiac, I am missing all of his accessories. I'm missing all of his purple tentacles and his base. All the rest of the figures are on an S base except for Brainiac. I have begged, borrowed, and stole from other figures to get them S bases, but I don't have one for Brainiac. Next is the grail piece of this collection. The figure that's the most expensive and the hardest to get is the Cyborg Superman. He is the most I've ever paid for a standard action figure. I'm not counting Hot Toys in that because I consider them posable statues, but he is the most I've ever paid for a single action figure. I dropped $100 on him. 130 total if you count the loose figure, but definitely the grail piece of this collection, the hardest figure to come by. Next we have Bizarro. Oh, and on you can see on Cyborg that I did steal the yellow base. For the next two figures, the yellow bases from the Superman Through the Ages set for these guys. Bizarro, obviously missing his blue base. Same with Cyborg. He's also missing his Bizarro #1 necklace. This is the first and only figure that I purchased when this set came out. Came out 2003, 2004. The only one I could find that I really wanted and really had the money for was Bizarro. I was looking for Superman or Cyborg or any of the other four, the four Supermans that took over: Cyborg, Steel, Eradicator, Superboy, and all they had was, I think they had Supergirl and Bizarro, and I chose Bizarro. So I've had Bizarro for 10 years now. I lost his necklace right away. His base I may still have, but at one point I repainted over it. I was painting it standard Superman colors. I don't know why. I think I was really bored. Supergirl, I just picked her up recently, and I did pick her up in package, so I was able to open her and have all of her accessories. And her one accessory is her blue base. This is, of this suit, my favorite incarnation of Supergirl in this suit. I have the Mattel one, and if you've seen my Mattel versus DC, you know how I feel about the Mattel one. Lastly, of course, we have Superman. The base he is on is the Superman Last Sun base. And you can tell, actually, this Superman, well, the same mold is the Superman from the Superman Doomsday 2-pack. I picked him up loose in a Game Worlds store. And you can tell that by the thinness of the middle part of the S. That this is from another set, basically. I mean, it is the Superman, it's just from the Superman Doomsday 2-pack. I do actually have another of this Superman in package. I'm currently selling on eBay because I don't need to have two in package. And I wasn't going to open him just to have the thicker S version, because I mean, it's the same figure, just obviously with the thinner S. And again, I had to beg, borrow, and steal a base to get him an S base, because when I bought him, he did not, of course, have his blue base. Alright, let's swing over here for the last one. Now, they were put up in two separate sets. They were put in the just Superman carded set, which you can see here, just said Superman at the top. And then there was the Return of Superman set. Now, what I don't understand is why they should have done it as 5 and 5 instead of 6 and 4. I can understand the black suit Superman being part of the Return of Superman, but Cyborg Superman should have as well. Cyborg should have been in the Return. The rest of them were standard. Doomsday, of course, killed Superman, so he's before Return. But it should have been 5 and 5. Green backs and orange backs, red bases and blue bases, and Cyborg should have been part of this set, because he did pop up with the rest of the characters. I guess the only way they could really justify that is the Cyborg Superman was actually Hank Henshaw, and he was from a previous Superman comic where basically he had the Fantastic Four origin story, but with robots, and stole Superman's spaceship and flew off into space and came back as Cyborg. So I guess in that way you can say that he does predate the Return of Superman in that aspect. You can see here the Superboy Superman. He does have a red base. This base did not come with him. He came with one of my loose steels. But of course I just went ahead and gave it to him because he looks better with a red base. So the only accessory I'm missing with him are his glasses. Next we have the Eradicator. And of course you can see him in package. The only problem I have with the in package version is he is just looking straight down. And I don't know how to fix that. It just irritates the shit out of me. We of course have Steel. Steel's on a blue base. That he came with something else, I remember. But Steel, and of course just did a review of him yesterday, the Kryptonian Life Suit Superman with his red base. So there you go. There's all 10 figures, both in and out of package. And this was, at the beginning of my collecting, this was my goal. So I am ecstatic to have all of these figures, both where I can actually pose and to have them as an in-package display on my walls. Alright guys, this went a lot longer than I intended. I do want to thank you for watching. Of course, as a Res the Collector, rate, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.